Well, hello, and welcome to our backyard garden in South Carolina, upstate. This is episode 7. We're in Greer, South Carolina, near Greenville, and it is Friday, March 28th, 3 weeks from Easter. Hit 80 degrees today. Beautiful weather. Right now it's about 7:30, and it's still easily 70 or 72 degrees. Just gorgeous weather, and so we're going to go through the backyard. Just finished up our front yard video. Seeing some irises on our hillside here. We always start off with the white ones, and then usually as soon as they finish up, we get our larger blue and purple ones that will take us into late April. But we always enjoy those. Haven't gotten to our full spring cleanup yet, though. I've got a lot of holly that are growing up through here. I need to chop those back. They're trying to take over this garden. I'm not going to let them succeed. Also worth mentioning, this crazy thing. This is a snapdragon. Just started growing last year. It was the biggest and most successful snapdragon that we had in the entire yard. Haven't deadheaded it from last year, but it's growing. It's got beautiful flowers. None of our other snapdragons are at this point yet, but this one gets more sun than any of the others, so it's coming right along. So you talk about getting good soil and everything else for a plant to do well. Well, this one's got concrete, and there it goes. So you just never know what you're going to get in the world of gardening. Down here, this is an area where we will have cleome in a few weeks. I need to clean this up. All these cleome branches and stems from last year, they're not adding anything to the appearance right now. We got some daisies here that'll bloom at the end of the summer, and then as we keep working our way down the hill, these were all hyacinths. They're all finished now. Same thing with the daffodils. Early summer is finished in our yard, and they were about to move into mid and late spring with these knockout roses. These are yellow ones, looking pretty good. We had a little problem with these last year. We don't know exactly what. It was either a deer or a beaver or something that ate them, about half the plant, but it has come back nicely. Hydrangeas here that are just putting out their leaves. It'll be a couple more months before we get anything flower-wise off of those. Got a couple unusual tulips, very hybrid tulips that are kind of finishing up. Those are about the only ones that we have in the backyard. All of our other hyacinths are finished, but we have a lot of lilies, Asiatic lilies, Oriental lilies coming along, a lot of digitalis. We've got probably double the number of digitalis plants this year, so it'll be interesting to see how many flowers we get out of those. And then a type of viburnum back here that is also called a shrub arbusto. It's just more or less greenery. It does get some little tiny flowers and berries on them, but nothing all that exciting. Got a butterfly bush here with a clematis growing up through it, so we're going to get some flowers, clematis flowers first, and the butterfly bush flowers will come later. Another butterfly bush here. These both of these give us really bright purple blooms when the time comes, so they're really fun to watch. Also fun when the time comes will be this knockout rose, bright red flowers with all the white clematis that are draped over them. So you're going to have a combination of red and white all over this bush. It'll be absolutely beautiful in about another 3-4 weeks, I'm guessing. Got a lot of daylilies coming up. It'll be another couple months before we get anything out of those, I think. And more digitalis here, and the one viburnum that we have here in the backyard. This one's doing as well or better than any of the ones we have in the front yard, even though it doesn't get a lot of sun. It's getting close to blooming. These will be gigantic white tufts of flowers that will be absolutely gorgeous. And then we have our 6 not rhododendrons, but azaleas back here, doing pretty well. not ready to fully bloom, although out of nowhere we have one flower. Another month we'll probably have just solid pink and purple. They did that in the fall too, which was really, really cool. And then I keep calling these things gardenias. They're not gardenias. For some reason I just cannot commit the name to my memory, but we have probably our last one of these. They're way, way behind their normal schedule this year. Usually they start blooming late January and are pretty well finished by the end of February. And they're a full month behind what they normally are doing, which is kind of nice because we can enjoy them a little bit longer. Through here, just a mix of just a whole bunch of stuff. Some irises, daylilies, again, the azaleas. We have climbing roses all over the fence, and Asiatic lilies growing back in here. Big knockout rose. This will give us just a bright blood red flower, very prolific plant when the time comes. More of these, not gardenias, but whatever they are, through here. Still pretty much fully in bloom. They just amaze me that they're still blooming this long. Very tropical looking. And we've got two more over here that are also doing pretty well. Their flowers tend to be a little more hidden, kind of look like peppermint candy. But there are quite a few more buds, so we should still have a lot of these to look at next week in the next video. Another one over here is a particularly big one. Just can't help showing them off because they're so pretty, and they once they're done in another couple weeks, that'll be it for those. Daffodils too. We are just about finished with all of our daffodils except this little group right here, these little miniature ones. Absolutely gorgeous, and there's even one white one with the orange center back in there doing really, really well. But all the others are pretty much done. Back on the fence we have a mix of climbing roses and jasmine and clematis. It just looks like a big mess right now, and it kind of is a big mess, but they are going to give us lots of flowers. The jasmine give us little tiny white flowers, and of course the clematis, we have about 4 or 5 different colors when the time comes, and then the climbing roses will drape all the way up onto the top of the trellis, and between that and jasmine, we're going to have all kinds of color when the time comes, another couple of weeks. Now, over here, these were all hyacinths before they finished up, but they're pretty well done. These, you could say these are still kind of hanging in there a little bit. Be the last ones, I think, that we see. Same thing with these daffodils, all finished. We've got like maybe 1 or 2 that are still blooming. And then we have clematis up against the fence. Hopefully those will do a little better than they've been doing the last few years. And then our weeping cherry here, kind of hard to see at this time of the night. Unfortunately, this is one of the things that's a little easier to visualize when there's a lot of light on it, but you can see the flowers close up, really pretty. This has gotten bigger and bigger each year, and given us more and more flowers. Last year it didn't do so well. I seem to remember it being kind of having a hard time, but this year it's looking great. And we have some clematis trying to grow up into the tree, which is okay. Clematis don't tend to be super invasive, as opposed to wisteria. Now here you have some wisteria vines that are trying to make their way up into the tree, and I do need to cut those off before everything gets fully in bloom this year, because I don't want them to hurt the tree. More clematis here, and then the main wisteria is this plant here. Not doing a whole lot yet, but it will. It's starting to get some buds. In fact, this week it has just finally started to come out with buds. And it's interesting to me because we have, there's the wild Orion bush tends to creep all around the property. I don't know how he got outside. He's not supposed to be outside, but it's a nice day, so he's a cat, and that's what they do. But we have a lot of wild wisteria here, and they're all in full bloom. You see purple everywhere around here right now. But this one, just a different type. It'll look the same, but it is about a month behind. This one will be blooming in late April. So it's kind of interesting to watch that. Not a whole lot going on down in the terraced area down here by the pond, but we do have a lot of canna here. Not my favorite flower in the whole garden, but it is what it is. And then a lot of irises back in here. We need to clean this out. Last year, these things put out so much greenery, and they tend to really kill the soil over time. We have not done any cleanup down here. In fact, we haven't done any cleanup since the hurricane last September. That log floated in. Haven't gotten rid of that. I need to get down here with the blower and really clean this out. But regardless, nature is back with irises, daylilies, and eventually we'll have black-eyed Susans down here. So we'll have flowers down in this area all through the remainder of the summer, really up until August and September. I have a huge climbing rose here. It gives us little tiny pink flowers when it's in bloom, and it'll bloom probably starting about mid-April, I'm guessing, and continue through November. Looks like, well, that's a jasmine there, actually. The jasmine's kind of wrapped itself all around these. So if you're wondering if jasmine will choke things out, it really won't. It just, it has a way of kind of taking over, though. It's very prolific. And you see more jasmine over in here than anything else. So we do have to cut those back, or they'll really get out of control very quickly. We'll come back up this way and finish things up. We have our tea olives here, still giving us quite a bit of very fragrant scent from these little tiny flowers. We have 8 of them along the property line. 7 of the 8 are doing well, and then we have this one that hasn't done so well, but it is still alive, trying to do better. Just never quite makes it. And then up on this side of the yard, I don't usually come up here as much, but we have a lot of hostas starting to come up. We have, I think, 8 big hosta colonies that grow up through here in the summertime, and they give us lots and lots of flowers. Still see some branches up in there from the hurricane. Haven't gotten that all cleared out yet, but those will really start to green up in another couple of weeks. And then we have tea roses here. It'll start to come out later on. Big irises back against the house. Daylilies, Asiatic lilies through here. This is a lilac that has not really done a whole lot yet. I'd like to think it will, but time will tell. It's covered with big clematis, so we're going to at least get clematis out of this, even if we don't get lilacs in bloom. Now this is a different lilac. Here we have 2 of these big buds. They've been budding for about 3 weeks now, and it looks like exactly one is open, and so this should be pretty colorful in another couple of weeks when that really starts to open up. Very fragrant too. Of course, lilacs are always quite fragrant. Lots of daylilies, another clematis back in here, huge buds on it, and I'm not seeing yet. This is usually something that comes up a little bit later. Calla lilies. We have about 8 different ones, different colors, all through there. So another month or so, those will start to come up. They're usually a little bit later. But lots of lilies back in here. You can kind of see them. This huge, monstrous climbing rose is almost up to the second floor now. This is another one with the little tiny pink flowers on it. It'll look really, really nice when the time comes, but right now it just kind of looks like an overgrown mess. But be patient, we'll get there. Coreopsis, little bright yellow flowers, really cool down in here. We should get quite a few more of those before the time is when the time comes, right, Orion? And we typically get a lot of tomatoes that just sort of show up from seed back in here, and that's really about it. So we're just getting started with our spring cleanup, but once it's in place and the grass greens up a little bit, I think it's going to look really nice back here. So hope it's sunny wherever you are, and until next time, happy gardening.